And welcome, sports fans, to today's Roundtable. And what a night it was in high school football last night in the district semifinal round. And we're going to get to some semifinal games that took place last night in the area. And one game of note, we've got the Salem and Kennett game. Salem and Kennett game from last night that we brought to you live here on YHC. So very, very good game last night in Kennett. Went down to the wire, down to the last minute of the game, and we'll have some highlights of that game coming up here shortly. So district championships are set. We're going to get to those matchups that are taking place next Friday as well. So that'll be exciting, seeing who advances on to state tournament play here in our area. So a lot to get to for today. So let's go ahead and get into some scores from last night. And take a look at those scores from last night in the area. And first taking a look at Class 1, District 1 in the semifinals. It was Valley Catholic defeating Portageville 56-12. No problem with Valley over Portageville. Portageville finished strong on the season. Really struggled out of the gate. Lost their first 4 or 5 games, and I think they pretty much won 4 or 5 of their last handful of games in the last half of the season, and had a tough opponent up there in St. Genevieve with Valley Catholic. They've been a strong Class 1 team, winning upwards, I think, 5 state championships up until a few years ago, and they're still right there in the mix once again. But Valley Catholic defeating Portageville 56-12 to advance on to the district championship next week. And the other semifinal in Class 1, District 1, Hayti defeated Chaffee 66-7. No problem. The Hayti Indians over the Chaffee Red Devils, setting up a rematch of last year's district championship. Valley Catholic and Hayti for that Class 1 District 1 title. That'll be held up in Valley Catholic. And in Class 2, District 1, top-seeded Caruthersville held off 4th-seeded Charleston 66-28. I say held off, but early on it was a pretty good game through 1 quarter of play. I think it was pretty much a tie game through a quarter and a half, and then Caruthersville exploded offensively and won in a rout over Charleston to advance to that district championship game. And in Class 2, District 1, the other semifinal, Mulberry Prairie, no problem last night, 56-23. Advances again to the district championship. We'll talk about that matchup with Caruthersville a little later. And Class 3, District 1, top-seeded Park Hill Central knocking off St. Genevieve 35-14. Park Hill Central winning that pretty handily, a match from earlier in the year. Park Hill Central going back to the district championship will host next week. And in the we brought live to you last night, Salem and Kennett come down to the very last moment, and Salem just edged Kennett 14-13, and Kennett just coming up just a bit. We'll take a look at the highlight from last night. Take a look here. We've got early on. Really good run, opening drive for the Indians. Nice run here. And Whitaker taking it in the end zone off the big run, now into the end zone. Great first drive for the Indians. As we see here, gets the handoff, but loses a great tackle and fumble recovery by Bowman. J.D. Bowman getting through the line, forcing the turnover right before the half. And this is where Salem makes a run right at the end of the half. A jump pass screen going up the left side inside the 10-yard line, but the block in the back, as you see there, brought it back a few yards. But Salem regrouped. Here a nice rollout, throwing a hit out on the outside, almost getting into the end zone. Sets it up at the 2-yard line. But quarterback sneak here takes care of that and ties it up at 7 apiece going into halftime. We had a halftime score of 7-7 here. First drive from Salem in the third quarter. Busting run up the middle all the way to the end zone, making it 14-7 at that point. And a big play here. 4th and 1. Looked like the quarterback may have gotten stuff behind the line of scrimmage. But as the quarter break, another 4th and 4 coming up. They turnover, gets the ball back. And we see here probably the play of the game late in the 4th quarter as a touchdown pass from Maddox to Zane Wallace, getting the touchdown. But here, after a missed point after, down 14-13, a 2nd and 2, Max sacked for a big loss, and then a penalty. Backs up the Indians 4th and 30, the last effort there on 4th down. Just can't complete the pass, and it would have been a couple of yards short, even if it was completed, and that ended the game there. 14-13, Salem over Kennett. and a heartbreaker for Kennett. They were right there in that game, had chances to really put themselves up in that game. A couple turnovers really hurt them. They had two turnovers in the game, and that last drive really put them back. They had a second short, had a rollout play called, and took a big sack, and then a holding penalty right after that, and backed them up third and 30, then 4th and 30. It's just too much yardage to come up there on that last drive, and it was an extra attempt they missed. Come up a bit short, kicked it a little high, a little short, and that was the difference, 14-13 in the that district semifinal last night. So tough break for the Indians, just a bit short, but a fine season, as they were fun to watch as we covered them this year. And you can catch that replay. We'll talk about that replay in a few moments. But a really good game last night, went down to the end, and can't expect much of a better game come district time than that one, Salem-Kennett last night. And back to some other games. Class 4 District 1, and that semifinal hero over Farmington, 48-42. Hillsboro will advance on to the district championship. And Cape Central, the 3 seed, went up to Bonterre, North County, and got a road victory there, 36-16. The Cape Central Tigers advance to that district championship. And in Class 5 District 1, top seeded Vianney, 5th seeded Rockwood Summit, 42-9. No problem for Vianney, winning Class 5 state champions. And moving on to that district championship, which they'll host next week. And a thriller, a rematch from earlier in the year. A 1-point victory for Poplar Bluff. Came to a triple overtime game last night, Poplar Bluff, and it was Jackson defeating Poplar Bluff 56-49. Again, that triple overtime impressive win for the Jackson Indians. And Poplar Bluff coming up a bit short. They were a little short-handed from the first game, but it seemed like it really didn't matter. It went down to the end once again, and 7-point victory being the difference in overtime. Jackson over Poplar Bluff. So Poplar Bluff's undefeated season comes to an end. That's what's just heartbreaking about high school football. You can go undefeated, and all it takes is one game in district play or state tournament play, and you're done for the year. Poplar Bluff, a great season, undefeated, and had some close ones throughout. They had some thrillers, and once again last night, but just coming up a bit short against the Jack Indians, as we knew it was going to be a close either way. The way that first one ended up earlier in the year, a 1-point victory for Bluff. And Jackson will advance on Vianney in that Class 5 championship. And also down in Piggott, the Piggott Mohawks took a loss on the road, Hoxie, 50-36. Scored affair there last night in Hoxie. Battle for third place in that conference, that 3A3 conference. And just coming up a bit short. We'll talk more about that in our next segment. But Piggott falls in one on the road against Hoxie in the conference matchup. And look forward to the Kennett and Salem game. We'll have that coming up today at noon. Actually, about 12:30 here, coming up here shortly. Catch that Saturday at noon, about 12:30, and Sunday at 4, and Saturday around 12:30 here coming up. And also catch that and go online website at yhctv.com and on our website anytime. It's available there to watch on our website at yhctv.com. And we're going to take our first break and be back with some stories from last night, also ahead to the district championships that'll be taking place next week. So we'll be back with that.
Ag Explore, we're farmers too. So we know that farm never been a 9-to-5 job. Just like the farmer, we work overtime to bring you whatever it takes. Solutions InZone help you retain 47% more nitrogen with an overall average increase of 12 bushels per acre. Imagine what InZone can do for you. Ag Explore.
At New Wave, we're proud to call the communities we serve our home. Our customers tell us having a local office is important to them. That's why we maintain dozens of local offices and employ over 500 skilled employees, all focused on delivering the best customer experience. We don't just connect communities, we connect to our communities, helping support the schools, organizations, and events that support all of us. Thank you for using New Wave Communications, your local provider of internet, TV, and phone.
Bud Shell Ford and Dexter has become your auto service hub, serving all makes and models. They have some of the best technology on the market, giving you the best experience possible. Like their Quick Check, which inspects your battery life, tire alignment, diagnostic codes, and tire tread depth. Bud Shell can assess your car's health in minutes and provide a quick fix. They also provide pickup and delivery for your convenience. Their record service is available 24/7. Call anytime. Bud Shell's mechanics are Ford certified and have the service staff to get your auto back on the road's best form. That's Bud Shell Ford in Dexter.
And welcome back, and now take a look at some storylines from last night in the area in high school football. As we mentioned in the score last segment, Piggott loses the 3A3 conference game on the road, and that's a 50-36 score. Hoxie over Piggott, and Piggott drops to 4th place. That was a big game last night. Hoxie and Piggott, the winner would take over 3rd place in that 3A conference, and that 3rd place in the conference actually gets a home playoff game. The top three rankings in that conference would get a home game in the first round, and are taking 5 from the conference, 5 out of the 8 teams, and top 3 would get a home game. So Piggott's still in the playoff. They're actually at a playoff spot as they move back to 4th place, and probably going to have to go on the road for the playoffs, probably the duration of the playoffs as far as they go. But big game last night just fell a bit short to the Hoxie Stangs, as Hoxie, well-known program, got a pretty good team coming back this year, and Piggott just come up a bit short. So Piggott in 4th place still clinched a playoff berth, as they got one more game on the road. That's Corning on the road. They've got the Rice Bowl. Their clash with the Corning Bobcats. So Corning, very, very tough season. I don't think they've won a game this year, so Piggott will likely roll in that game next week. But looks like a 4th place finish at this point for the Piggott Mohawks in that 3A3 conference. Will get a playoff game. It's going to be on the road, though. It looks like that first round playoff in Arkansas in 3A. But Piggott, fine season going forward in the playoffs. So forward to the Mohawks in the playoffs here in a few weeks. And also from last night, as mentioned, Kennett falls to Salem 14-13, and all it was an extra point attempt that separated these teams, and may as well have come something like that. These two teams battled back and forth, played very competitively on both sides, and just come up to a few certain plays where Kennett unable to put together a scoring drive there in the end. But a fine season. They finished their season at 7-4 on the year. An impressive season once again this year from the Kennett Indians, and went and did 4 of their games this year. Fun time down there, and a great venue as well. And congratulations to Kennett on a fine season. Just coming up a bit short last night to the Salem Tigers. And Jackson defeating Poplar Bluff in that triple overtime thriller, and we knew we'd have a great one coming into this one, as they went to a one point victory for Bluff earlier in the year. I think that was, I can't remember which week that was, but it was midway through the year. Poplar Bluff got that 1 point victory, and we knew the rematch potentially in the district tournament in the semifinals would be huge, and it lived up. Triple overtime over there at Bluff. Jackson pulling off the rematch, and will advance on and take on Vianney. That's going to be a tough match for them, but impressive victory last night for the Jackson Indians. And Crothersville and Malden, big Class II District 1 championship set once again between these two, and I don't know how many years this has gone back to, probably 6 or 7 years at least. But these teams have matched up in the district championship, and it should be a good one Friday night down in Crothersville. Crothersville got a decisive victory over Malden in week 2, but Malden's very good ever since. They've been dominating their schedule, so I would expect a closer game this time, much more competitive game till the end, and should be a good one, as it's been a great rivalry. We won't, so we are going to make an attempt and an effort to broadcast that game live from Crothersville next Friday night. So look forward to that clash. Should be a good one, and we expect a good one down there in Crothersville next Friday night. And now taking a look at District Football Championship set for next Friday night. Top-seeded Valley Catholic will host Hayti, and that's a rematch of last year's District Championship. Should be a good one again. Valley Catholic did defeat Hayti. I think they beat them by about 20 points, but Hayti was without their best player last year, which certainly could have made a difference. But that rematch should be a good one this year. I think Hayti is going to match up a little better with them this year, so I would expect a better game there between Valley Catholic and Hayti this next Friday night. So it should be a good one for that Class 1 District 1 championship in St. Genevieve. And in Class 2, District 1, Crothersville will host Malden in that district championship. And like we just said, it's a great matchup, rivalry going back many years. And Crothersville might have a chance to get the upper hand on the Malden Green Wave. Malden Green Wave won a handful of district championships in a row now, defeating Crothersville each time. And got the roster and the team to do it this year, which Malden's still right there. The only one loss on the year to Crothersville. And Malden has certainly dominated their schedule since. So it should be a good one next Friday night in Crothersville. Class 3, District 1, and that championship top-seeded Park Hills Central hosting Salem, as Salem pulled off that semifinal victory over Kennett, and they will go on the road to take on Park Hills Central for that district championship next Friday night. And in Class 4, District 1, Hillsboro, the top seed, will host third-seeded Cape Central. Should be a good one for that Class 4 District 1 title up in Hillsboro. So Cape Central got a chance to pull off an upset on the road. They pulled off I wouldn't say it's really an upset, defeating North County. I think Cape Central was going to be the favorite in that one. But Cape Central on the road against Hillsboro should be a good matchup. Cape Central certainly capable of pulling off that victory on the road next Friday night. Class 5, District 1, Vianney, the defending Class 5 state champs, taking on third-seeded Jackson. And Jackson fresh off their thriller victory in triple overtime against Poplar Bluff. It's going to be an uphill fight. Vianney's certainly going to be a favorite in that one. And Jackson going to have a tough opponent. Vianney's looking really strong this year. I think they only got one loss on the year. And going to have a tough one on the road against Vianney next Friday night. And quickly take a look at the Arkansas State rankings for the 3A class in Arkansas from Hootens.com. This week, Junction City still undefeated at 8-0 coming into last night. 2, Charleston. 3, Prescott. 4, Glen Rose. 5, Mayflower. 6, Clinton. 7, Osceola. 8, Rivercrest. 9, Barton. 10, Perryville. And down the way, 19th, Piggott. They moved back one spot from 18 from last week. But as you see there, they're in the 3A3, Osceola and Rivercrest. They're at number 7 and 8. Very good teams that are atop of that conference at 1 and 2. And Piggott in 4th place in that conference at 18. Forgot to look up Hoxie if they were right there in the mix as well. So they're probably there in the top 20, I would assume, as well. So there you are, the Hootens.com Arkansas football Class 3A rankings coming into this week. And volleyball championships are taking place in Cape Girardeau this weekend. And the semifinals took place Friday, and the championships will be taking place today here on Saturday at the Show Me Center in Cape Girardeau. And taking a look at those games today, Northland Christian will take on New Haven in the Class 1 state championship. And Class 2, St. Pius X will take on Stratford. St. Pius, the defending Class 2 state champions, taking on Stratford. And we'll see how that plays out today in Cape Girardeau. In Class 3, Elias Catholic out of Jefferson City taking on Lutheran South. And Lutheran South, the defending Class 3 state champions. And looking to repeat as volleyball state champions in the Show Me Center today. In Class 4, St. Joseph's Academy taking on Ozark. And that Class 4 girls volleyball state championship. So those are your volleyball games set for today in Cape Girardeau in the Show Me Center, Cape Girardeau, for those Missouri Volleyball State Championships. So there you go, and we'll see what happens there today. Those championships taking place. We had some local teams get knocked out. Dexter lost in the sectional round of that Lutheran South team once again this year. Bloomfield and Malden lost in the sectional round last weekend, and also Gideon with Risco lost out in the sectional round as well. So pretty good volleyball teams this year, just really none playing in that Final Four and those championships this weekend at the Show Me Center in Cape Girardeau. And that's pretty much going to bring it in for us today, and we appreciate you for tuning in as always, and we'll look forward to having you right back with us next week, and we might bring you the Crothersville and Malden game next Friday night. We're going to try to make an effort to bring that live to you here on YHC and YHCTV.com. We'll see if we can work that out. But until then, next time, wish you to have a great week and take care, everyone.